Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamescast, episode 361. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast, joined by Tony Korkanakis.
Yo!
And that's it. It's just the two of us again.
Two-man show.
If you haven't watched the movie cast, there's just two of us this week. Mike is busy.
Very short.
Corey's MIA. We don't really know. Zombies may have gotten him. We're not sure. Hopefully he's okay out there.
Zombie known as Destiny too.
Yeah. He's not online. Tony just checked, so...
But he could be offline.
Thank you, Corey, for not playing Destiny. Yeah, showing himself offline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As you heard, folks, Destiny 2 is out. I'll give you my impressions of that in a little bit. But I wanted to kick this off with... we're going to leave the Nintendo news for later. We're going to talk about Bruce Straley leaving Naughty Dog. Now, what's crazy about this is the fact that I just finished that chapter of Uncharted 4 and how burnt out both him and Neil Druckmann were. Like, they wanted to stop after Last of Us to take a break and come back, and they didn't get to do that because Naughty Dog pushed them into Uncharted 4, and there was just no chance they could leave because it was such shambles at that point. So they stayed on, they both finished Uncharted 4, and you know that he's even more burnt out. I can't imagine what Neil Druckmann's going through either, especially now by himself, because those two have been a team forever.
And this is what I've been saying in the past couple months. AAA development it's about to burst. It is about to burst.
It's going
to blow up in a lot of faces.
It's gotten way too big.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I said this at the beginning of when the Wii U launched, because all those Nintendo games for the first year pretty much got delayed, and I mean even Nintendo is one of the biggest developers in the world. They were struggling with HD development, and they don't even do games as a service, and they don't do the cinematic AAA like Last of Us, Uncharted, Tomb Raider type games. So, I mean, they just require hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people working constantly.
Yeah. Because
that's the thing, is you can't have downtime. You need to be working on something all the time. So it's just, it's a tremendous, enormous pressure.
I mean, you're talking, this guy, Bruce Straley, actually, when he was working on Uncharted 4, was so dedicated to getting the game done. And I feel bad about... And I wanted to talk about this on the podcast. 'Cause I feel bad because I remember making fun of them for delaying the game those 4 weeks. I remember that happening. And we're like, what the fuck are they going to do? But in that book that I'm reading, which is called Blood, Sweat, and Pixels... great book so far.
Jason Schreier of Kotaku.
Kotaku, yeah. Great book. Fantastic book so far. If you're wondering what to pick up, it's been so good so far. I've done 3 chapters. It's 3 games so far I've gotten through. And it's been excellent. But this Uncharted section was just because it's so recent that it was like, Mass Effect is next, by the way, for me. So I'm actually wondering if I'm going to feel bad for them because of the amount of shit they've gone through. But I don't know, because I've played the game and I didn't like it. Uncharted 4, at least I liked, Yeah. So, anyways, they talk about crunch time, which you mentioned immediately on Slack. And it's not that crunch time is required hours to work. It's just that because people are dedicated to getting the product done, they're working 80 hours a week. And they're there.
Right.
So this guy, for instance, he rented an apartment across the street from the studio, so he wouldn't have to drive home to save an hour of drive back and forth each day, to save 2 hours a day. So he can be there to work. That's what he did.
Yeah, and the thing is, not every developer requires crunch time, but the thing is, when it's encouraged by management or leadership, whatever you want to call it, and the majority of people are going to do it because...
Here's the thing, the management themselves, like I just said, they were doing it themselves. So it's
absolutely, because somebody's got to watch it.
Yeah. And then they even said, people would feel bad if they're going to leave and they see you working, they stay because you're sitting there working your butt off and they feel bad because they're only human. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's like guilt by association because it's like you feel like you're letting the team and the company down. Mm-hmm. So it's a bad culture, unfortunately. I'm the first one to criticize Microsoft in moving to a games as a service model, or that's what most of the games are turning out to be. But honestly, games as a service model, there's some benefit to it because you don't have to be pressured to meet those deadlines. So, like one of my favorite games, League of Legends, the game is out. The game has always been out. It's always, well, not always, but I mean, for years it's been out. They release champions when they need to. They release patches when they need to. They can make user interface updates when they need to. They don't have to rush anything because the game is out there. The game is making them money. They're engaging the community. So it's not like, oh, crap, we had to delay something and now people are hurting. We might have to have layoffs and stuff like that. But, as a first party, as one of the big first parties, I think there's an obligation to balance games as a service and, giving the single-player experiences and stuff like that.
Just a quick snippet. You guys should read the books. I'm not going to give you the whole book story, but, those 4 weeks that they had there enabled them to delay the printing of the disc so that they could have actually, because otherwise that game was going to ship broken, like straight broken. Like it did ship, it needed a patch. Remember, it was a big day one patch, but you could have played it if you just had the disc. You could have gotten through the game. There was like game-ending bugs in that first, like before that game was going to get printed, and that's when the president of Sony called him. I forget his name. Shit. Who's the guy? Sean Layden.
Oh, Sean Layden. Okay.
Yeah. He called him and he's like, okay. He's like, what do you need? And he's like, I need another month. And he's like, okay, it'll ship in May. So they were really good about it, delaying it one more month. They didn't seem to care. And you know what it was? I think they just knew they had such a great product, it didn't matter to them. But that extra month gave them enough time. And so now I understand when things get delayed that short window, maybe it's because they found a game-ending bug and they don't want to ship the disc like that. So it's cool to know that, because I always wonder, what the fuck are you doing for a month?
Yeah, no, it's interesting to see it. So I think obviously when we see that, like, hey, we just need a couple extra weeks, it's one thing. But when you look at like Crackdown 3, I mean, that's being pushed back like half a year. So it's kind of like,
that's a game ending not good, is what that is.
That's a game is not good.
Yeah, that's what that is. Good. It's like, this needs more time in the oven. And you know what's funny is everybody that played that game said the same thing. Yeah. Like, there's so many journalists I've heard on podcasts, on news articles saying that game needed more time. So, like, at least Microsoft delayed it. They don't have anything this year, as we make fun of them about, but they did delay it.
It's kind of, I don't want to turn this to a Microsoft shit show, but it's. I saw somebody tweet the other day about how when they canceled Scalebound, they had Microsoft PR actually release something and said, with Phil Spencer, like, we're sad, blah, 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 but we believe Xbox, owners are going to have one of the best years ever with the following titles. And it's like Crackdown 3, the Pirate game, Forza, and something else. And all of them got delayed except for Forza.
Yeah. The thing is, and you know what's crazy? After reading also, again, I'm referring back to this book, but Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, by the way. Again, I'll mention it. Pillars of what was it, Eternity, or I can't remember the name of the book, the game that came out. But Obsidian was making an RPG for Microsoft.
Yes. Yep.
So
that was a big show.
Yeah. So that's the problem, because Microsoft's eyes were too big for the stomach. They kept wanting more and more and more things in this grand RPG that made it impossible to develop. It was impossible. Like, I understand we harp on them about not coming up with new content, new IPs, and being original. And then, like, I hear this story and I'm like, well, this is that means they went way too far with that. Like, there's a line where, like, I want original games, guys. You don't have to, like, give me this super RPG that, like, is like Destiny mixed with Dragon Age that, it's almost impossible to build. It's sick impossible. Just build us an IP that's fun. Like, build us a single player experience that I can enjoy. But it's really, it's a great book though, for those wondering. And I hearing Bruce Straley leave Naughty Dog and not announce what he's doing, I know that he just wants to take a break. He's just burnt out.
Yeah, and the thing is, I was talking about this in Slack chat maybe, or another earlier podcast, but like when because again, Jason Schreier probably said this in the book, that it's hard for the industry to find lead developers anymore, or lead developers, lead game designers, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Because one AAA project that goes on for years, like, sucks the soul out of people. Like, you're working consistently way more than 40 hours a week. You're getting paid way less than you would in any other related tech industry for that same job. And for what? Like, prestige, sure, but I mean, that only takes you so far until you're like, well, shit, I got a family, I got kids, I got, other stuff I want to do in life that you can't do.
I fully expect Neil Druckmann to do the same thing after Last of Us 2 actually gets out.
And that's the thing. I don't see these people sticking around the game industry. They'll just leave. Yeah. And it's a scary thing because, they're
good at their jobs, and
they're good at their jobs.
You're burning them out.
They're getting burnt out, and the thing is, I don't think people are replacing them. And I want to point to Mass Effect Andromeda as a great example of a product that, on paper, Electronic Arts, new studio, thrown money at. They had like 4 years of development time, but they just didn't have a vision. They didn't have that leader there.
Yeah.
And I just think we're not going to see the repercussions for years, but when it happens, we're just going to be like. And
I'll give Nintendo credit on this one. I'll throw them some credit here. Like, they have had the same, like, Shigeru Miyamoto has never been burnt out on games. and they build single player games that, like, for instance, Mario and stuff like that, and Zelda, that we all really, really enjoy, and it's clearly not burning people out there. Like, whatever they're doing with their games, they are, in my opinion, they are AAA titles, and they're just not as grand of scale. Like, you have a good idea, and Zelda's pretty big, but it's not. They didn't overreach.
Exactly. They don't overextend. They don't get, their eyes aren't too big for their stomachs. They're like, this is what we want. Like, I'm trying to remember the last time like a Nintendo game flat out just got canceled. I can't really remember that.
I'm not sure.
Usually maybe some smaller titles or something like that. Like, yeah. So whatever Nintendo's doing, and they seem to be letting the younger generation do it. Like Splatoon, that IP was the new generation of Nintendo developers. ARMS, Nintendo developers. So it's interesting seeing what they're coming out with, and especially with stuff from classic series like Mario and Zelda with Koizumi and oh shit, I can't remember his name. Who did Zelda?
The guy that just did
Breath of the Wild.
it's
I have to look it up now. It's going to bother me. Can't remember his name off the top of my head.
I'm going to try to. It's not going to be on here, is it? Damn it! Give me manuals. By the way, that was crazy.
Anuma.
By the way, that was crazy to buy a 360 game and have an instruction manual in it back in Flipageddon. Because you have to open them. And it was just, I'm like, oh my god, an instruction manual. Look at that. Anyways, so yeah. Side note.
I remember those.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like, they do a better job of balancing out that reining it in, not getting too far, overextending. So, all right, let's move into the Pewdewpie. Pewdewpie? I don't care.
Yeah.
Pewdewpie, his...
Fuck this guy, man.
This guy needs to not be on YouTube anymore. Like, why does he still have work?
Exactly. Like, that's... God, this is frustrating. Because, like, I remember years ago, when I was dating an ex-girlfriend, she loved Pewdewpie. I was just like, why?
I don't know.
And this is before all, like, the controversial shit came out. This is when he was just, like, screaming while playing video games or watching movies and just yelling. And I'm just like... This isn't even entertaining. It's just because this dude is, like, attractive and has an accent and just overacts and over-exaggerates. Like, that's not quality content.
No, he's never had quality content, in my opinion. But
and then over the years, we just see all this bullshit with, like, and then slowly we started seeing, like, there's a lot of rape jokes. There was a lot of, like, what was it? I think there was a Jewish...
He made a racist comment earlier. I know that. And I think it was Jewish. Everything was Jewish is what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Jewish. And everybody, defended him on that and saying it was, just a throwaway line and stuff like that. Now he's got a racial slur thrown in there in a game. And
so I think the story is he was playing PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds online, and one of his teammates died, and he, said, "You fucking ninja."
N-word.
Ninja. Yeah, I'm just gonna say the word ninja.
Yeah.
And the way he said it was so, like, is full of vitriol, and. Not even that, but just the way, like, it came out so effortlessly, and he didn't even, right away, he didn't even seem like he knew what he had done. It was just kind of like business as usual. So yeah, fuck this guy. I mean, like, regardless of what I think of him before all this happened, like, you can't have that. I mean, he's the #1 YouTube personality, one of the biggest Twitch streamers. Just, like, why we continue to give him a platform? Because all this is doing is teaching younger kids, hey, it's okay to be racist.
Yeah, it's terrible. He does have kids that can watch his videos, and it's just unbelievable. Yep. So he should be definitely banned from YouTube and whatever he's getting.
And that's the frustrating thing, right? That's the frustrating thing is that none of the entities, Google with YouTube or Amazon with Twitch, seem to have any repercussions for him because he makes them too much money.
All right. So yeah, that's bullshit stuff. Let's move into Nintendo. Fuck him.
Somebody should fight him.
They should. Nintendo news. We have short blurb before the Direct. The SNES will get an extended life on the shelf. They're going into the next year for you to buy them.
Which is previous just the holiday for 2017.
Reggie has come on record saying, I would not buy the ones you see scalpers are selling because you will find them on the shelves. Yep. I say, bullshit, but prove me wrong, Reggie. Prove me wrong. And then the better news...
Wait, there's more.
But wait, there's one more thing. Well, not more than that, but NES Classic, the mini console, will be back on shelves in the summer of 2018. Yep. That's shocking, because I thought we'd hear about the N64.
I mean, here's what I imagine happened. Because again, when the NES Classic came out, from what I've read in the interviews, they looked at what the most popular, whatever TV hookups, whatever you want to call them, the multi-game console that hooks into retro game console.
Yeah.
They looked at the most popular ones, the ones that sold the most, and were like, okay, we'll base our numbers off of this. Like, I don't think any of those other ones have ever sold in excess of 1 million units. So they're like, all right, we'll make 1 million units. That sounds good enough. Most of these games are out on the virtual console for both Wii U and 3DS. So most of our hardcore fan base probably aren't going to want this. And then they come out with an awesome marketing campaign that was built up from E3 into the winter season, and it's just like it was the hot must-have item of the holiday season, or one of them. And at the point that it was apparent that people wanted, there's pent-up huge demand. They're like, well, shit, we already ordered this many. I guess we'll keep the factories open for a little while, but we already plan to transition into the SNES Classic.
Yeah.
Which, again, when it comes to manufacturing, it's not like you could just flip a switch like that and just be like, yeah, we want an extra million NES Classics to sell and box and ship to the United States. It just does not happen that quick. It takes weeks, if not months. So the demand for the NES Classic, I think, definitely adjusted their expectations for the SNES Classic, which was why I'm leading to believe that we will see more of them, and you will be able to see them on shelves more often than you did the NES Classic. But in addition, now they were able to scale. I'm pretty sure they probably opened up another factory for the N64 Classic, which is probably coming next year, and managed to open up another one for the NES Classic, because it's really just free money for them.
Yeah.
Free money.
Well, with the Super Nintendo coming out, that's the one I want.
Yep.
If they announce an N64 console, that's the one I want. That one too. I might as well get the NES as well. What am I saying? I'm like, I don't know.
The GameCube Classic.
But I don't know if I'm going to. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to play that one anymore. Like, I've moved on to the SNES now. Like, I really want that. I want to play it. I want to play Star Fox 2 on the N64. I better get me some Wave Race. I hope. Please get me Wave Race on there. But we'll see, because they lost the Kawasaki thing. But you can easily cut that out.
I'm pretty sure they did, because I have it on Wii or Wii U as a virtual console title, and I think they just removed the Kawasaki stuff.
Pilot Wing 64. I want some good stuff on there. Yeah, I definitely want some good stuff. All right, so we had a Nintendo Direct today. A lot of stuff announced. Hopefully making Jim wrong about something. The release date we're going to start off with the release date for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, December 7th of this year. Not out yet, Tony. It is not out yet. When it's out.
Well, you wanted a release date.
Yes, I did. I'm very happy they gave me a release date. I really am happy about that. I'm very happy, and I really hope that's the release date. I hope it doesn't get delayed. The faster, as we get closer, and if it doesn't get moved, beginning of November, I'm going to be very, very confident we're going to get this game.
It's already available on pre-order.
Yeah. So I hope we get it. That's the big news of this conference for me. But there was a lot of content in this Direct. A lot of 3DS stuff to start. I didn't link the actual Direct. What am I doing? So, I don't know. Do you have access to that real quick to talk about what was going through here?
Yeah, let's see. They started off with Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which, whatever. If you like Pokemon, you probably already know if you're getting these games or not. Yep. That's cool, I guess. Then they followed up with what I thought was a cool...
was the Mario Party thing after that? The Mario Party...
I don't know if it was immediately after. It might have been Minecraft.
Oh, Minecraft. Yeah, Minecraft. Yep.
All of a sudden, they're like, "Hey, Minecraft available on the Nintendo, the new Nintendo 3DS, right now on the eShop."
Yeah.
Directly following this E3, this Direct presentation. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You've just been keeping this quiet for months, if not years, that Minecraft was coming to Nintendo, new 3DS.
Yeah.
And just, God, the system will not die.
No, it won't. No, it won't.
It's just so weird, because Nintendo has been notorious at just letting their systems just die quietly and quickly, and the 3DS just refuses to die.
I mean, they got Mario Party the top 100.
Top 100,
which is awesome. Please have that on Switch.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing that pisses me off, because I have been saying this for years. I was like, I wish they would make a Mario Party best of compilation game that combined the best boards, the best mini games from all the Mario Party. Because there's a dozen Mario Party games across all the systems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you only get probably like 10% of those are good from each individual game. But if you take all the best ones, you have the best of the best.
Yeah.
So it was a pleasant surprise to see that they actually listened to like fans, because I wasn't the only one, obviously, saying that. Like, all right, sweet, it's coming out 3DS. I was like, motherfucker. I mean, I understand because the 3DS is still 70 million units sold, and the audience is a bit younger than the Switch is right now, obviously, because of price and availability issues. But like, why not both?
Yeah.
Why not both? I respect them for having it download play, so you only need one cartridge to play at the full play.
That's great, yeah.
But, do it on the Switch, too, because here's the thing. Like, 2 Joy-Cons, you can at least play 2-player, carry an extra set of Joy-Cons.
You just reminded me, by the way.
Portable Mario Party!
I would like to point out, by the way, that the Nintendo did update their app today for the iOS and Android, where you can actually turn your phone off now and still chat.
Yeah. It has a basic functionality.
Finally! We got there! We did it! So I do like to point that out. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't decide to do that. I know it's late. Basically, this stuff was probably being made earlier, and they just can't make the Switch that quickly. Okay? Wait, no pun intended there. But yeah, I think that's really what it was. So I do think that we will get some of these games moved over to the Switch as we move on in time here, like next year. Mm-hmm. But a new Pokemon-themed 2DS XL. Like, guys, come on!
Yep. So they have a Metroid one coming out. That looks awesome.
It does.
SNES Classic one. That looks awesome.
Yeah.
Pokemon one. That looks awesome. But I'm just like, I don't want any more 3 or 2DSs.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah. So then we finally get into the Switch stuff. They had some surprises on here, actually. We got a Kirby's new game on Switch. It's called... The Kirby game they showed was actually Kirby Star Allies, which is a multiplayer Kirby game. It looks actually kind of fun. January 19th, 2018. So it's an early game, which is cool, because there's usually not much earlier in the year.
I think you got... So there's 2 different Kirby games talked about.
Okay.
There was one on 3DS, and that's in January.
Oh, okay.
The one on Switch is...
Okay,
right. They said the one on Switch is the first half of 2018.
Okay. All right. So maybe we'll get a May release date on that one. That looks good, though. We also saw Skyrim coming out on the Switch November 17th of this year. It's finally happening. That big game that they teased is happening.
Yeah. And it's kind of big because Nintendo, Mario's coming out in October, and Xenoblade Chronicles is the first week of December. So they literally gave Skyrim, like the premiere, like the week before Thanksgiving, which is like the week before has usually been reserved for Nintendo's like biggest game of the season.
Well, it looks like Chronicles wasn't able to make it, so it gave it a nice padding.
Yeah.
But
it's pretty significant for Nintendo and Bethesda, as we'll
well,
get
Bethesda
to.
shocked the hell out of me here. This was probably the surprise of the show for me. Was not even like it's amazing that the release date of Xenoblade Chronicles being this year is not my surprise of the show. Like the surprise of the show here is Doom and Wolfenstein 2, the new one, is coming to Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, that was weird because if you watch the presentation, they had like the little preview snippets where like it showed like the header of each like clip that was about to be played, and one of them with question marks was two iconic shooters. I was like, iconic shooters? Like what the hell are we talking about here? Like GoldenEye? Like I don't understand. But they're like,
Doom will be out this holiday, and then Wolfenstein early next year for the Switch. Yep. So Bethesda's on board.
Yeah, I think it's incredible that Bethesda is on board before Skyrim is even out, and they see how it performs. They're like, yeah, we'll give you Doom. We'll give you Wolfenstein 2. Yeah. There you go. Meanwhile, people like fucking Capcom are like, oh, let's release a test game, Ultra Street Fighter 2. Sells at like 500,000 units. All right, well, let's release Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 and see how it does. And Japan, Monster Hunter Double Cross, Japan only, because we don't know. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? I mean, God, they just released the Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 on, Xbox and PlayStation. I'm just like, are you dumb? Are you dumb?
Yeah.
Like, all the other Mega Man style games right now are on the top charts of the eShop, or had been when they launched. Mighty Gunvolt Verst, Azure Strikers, Dual Pack, not a direct correlation, but Blaster Master Zero, that was charting and stuff like that. So, like, there's a pent-up demand for those retro-style games. Mega Man is a retro gaming, like, icon.
Yeah.
How is it not? I can't imagine that it would take a while to do. Like, hey, look, collection 1 and 2 on the Switch. I mean, you can't tell me that would take significant amount of time or resources. But whatever. Yeah. Fuck Capcom.
Moving on. We had surprise game, Project Octopath Traveler. I want to talk about from Square Enix.
Yes.
So that's done from the same team that did Bravely Default as well, right? Yes, it did. Okay.
Yep.
So it was that same team. It looked interesting. It looked pretty cool. An old style graphic game coming to
Looks
the
like
Switch.
a Final Fantasy from the Super Nintendo era.
Yeah. That's coming to the Switch. They're actually... Is the demo... See, this is where I got crossed up. He said video after they showed it. I know they said demo in the writing, but then... what's the name?
So...
Yeah, then they said
Koizumi.
video. Kazumi said during the video, like, it was a video coming out.
So they have an extended gameplay video trailer up online on YouTube channel and stuff like that. But there was also a demo that came out right after the presentation.
Okay, so I'll be downloading that myself. So. Yep. That's cool. I'll be looking at checking that out. That looks really cool. What else we have here? Mario. Obviously, Mario was shown. There was a couple other things before Mario, but we'll go to Mario right now. Mario Odyssey was shown with a lot of new territories. The game looks huge. It does.
It's insane how, like, each time we've been seeing this game, and mind you, we've only been seeing it since January or February with the Switch sizzle reel before launch.
Yeah.
But like how awesome this game is, and each time they show more footage, I just continue to be like more impressed and more blown away because they are cranking the ridiculousness up to 11 in terms of like what you're doing. Like, yeah, you could possess a T-Rex. Now you're possessing, like, I don't know, some like flying squirrel like dinosaur, which has like
pretty cool
things.
The Ice World looked really good.
The Ice World looked good. Just like all the different outfits that Mario can have, and they're actually going to have an effect on gameplay. Mario can run around just swim trunks, so in 1 year we have both Link and Mario running around in just like their underwear or swimming trunks. So just like you get that fan service. But yeah, I mean that game looks incredible, and just the scope. They're like, yeah, look at all these like moons that you could find in levels. Like, holy shit!
Are you actually like? I'm actually surprised they're releasing a bundle. Like, the Switch is selling on its own by itself.
Yeah, Nintendo is not taking prisoners this year.
No,
they're like, fuck you guys.
Well this year,
2017 is the year of the Switch.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they are releasing this game, for those wondering, in a bundle with the Switch. If you don't own a Switch yet, you can get the Mario bundle, which is going to sell like fucking hotcakes. Because it's Mario. He's going to sell like hotcakes anyways. Buying the Switch with it, it's like buying an old Nintendo. It's going to bring back memories immediately of buying a Nintendo system with Mario. It just seems like all is right in the world when they bundle a Mario game with their system. Like, that's they're going to have its own controller, red controllers. It comes with a carrying case, I believe, as well, which looked pretty cool. So it looked good. I didn't get a price for it, but it will release with the game.
It's $380.
$380. There you go. So good deal. You get the case for free. Well, not for free, but
you get the case for $20.
Yeah.
Essentially.
They had some other stuff. DLC for Zelda. They had some information for that. When's that releasing? Did we get a release date?
No, that's the strange thing. They didn't release it. They said it will be coming out soon. News of when it will launch soon. The cool thing is cool or not cool, depending on how your stance is, but the Champions amiibo are coming out, I think, in November, they said.
That's when I expected it when they came out. I really was.
That's what I did, too. Maybe who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But the cool thing is when you scan them in the game, you get gear that's respective of the dungeons that they represented in the game, which is kind of cool.
That's cool.
So, that's a neat little feature.
Yeah. ARMS. They had an ARMS, the character. Did they date that? The ARMS character and DLC? Today was right after the Nintendo Direct.
All right. Lola Pop is the new character, I think.
Yep.
And it's funny because we just talked about in the movie cast, but the new character is a clown, female clown, and I don't know. I wish Nintendo had found a way to like cross market like
with it.
It's like, it X arms like the crossover you never knew you wanted.
Yep. And we also got a MOBA coming to Switch, Tencent Arena Valor, which is launched on mobile. Free beta coming to Switch. No release date, but that's coming too.
But and this is the thing where I'm kind of interested because that's interesting. I won't personally play it that much, I don't think. because my MOBA is League. But I think it speaks volumes to if that takes off, because the thing is the MOBA genre is very undeveloped on consoles.
Yeah.
But with the Switch and just the nature of its portability and stuff, because the thing is, if you're playing a MOBA, everybody needs their own device, which is usually a computer. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to nobody has LAN parties anymore or stuff like that. It's just not feasible. But a Switch LAN party, I mean, that could be doable. The other interesting thing is this just kind of falls in line with, because this was previously a mobile game on phone devices. Mm-hmm. And before the Switch launched, I made this prediction that said we were going to see we're going to see the Nintendo mobile games released on the Nintendo Switch because it had a touchscreen and everything. So Super Mario Run, Fire Emblem Heroes, whatever the fucking Mii game was. We haven't seen any of those, but we've seen all these other previous mobile-only games come to the Nintendo Switch. I'm like, why aren't you putting Super Mario Run out there? Why aren't you putting Fire Emblem Heroes out there?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to me.
Lastly, we got the Arcade Archives, which is classic games being released by Nintendo. Let's see, the Mario Brothers game is coming out first at the September 22nd, I want to say.
Yeah, it should be end of the month.
Yeah. Now, what are these games exactly? Are these multiplayer versions of the games, that battle mode games versions?
Yeah. So before Nintendo got into the console business, they had made a couple arcade games obviously Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong, stuff like that. But they released some what they called versus games, where it was Ice Climbers versus Mario Brothers versus, where it was you went and then the other person went and see if they could get a better score or beat the level faster, so on and so forth. Kind of cool for historical purposes, because it's not like they released those games ever for at least home distribution that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. The one I'm interested in is they have the Punch-Out arcade game.
Yeah, I saw that.
The original Punch-Out arcade game, which is very different from NES Punch-Out. It has a wireframe. If anybody's played Smash Brothers on Wii U, Little Mac has a wireframe version of him, and it's supposed to represent the arcade Punch-Out game. Cool. So it looks pretty cool. It's done by the same development group, or whatever you want to call them, Hamster. They've been doing all the SNK stuff. Mm-hmm. So it looks like those games have been selling well, where Nintendo's like, you know what, let's do it for our games too. So get them out there. Although, I'd still love hear news about a virtual console.
Yeah, nothing about that, which is not shocking, because they're announcing all of these collectible systems, they keep releasing them. So, anyways, what else? Anything else for that? I think that's it.
I think that was the major highlights of the Nintendo Direct, which was a good presentation. Gave
45
us
minutes long.
45 minutes long, gave us a good taste of what's to come. Some new surprises. I mean, the fact that Doom is coming out before the end of the year, that's crazy.
Yeah. Quick port for it.
And that game was pretty good. So if you haven't played it, definitely take a look at it. It's portable.
All right. Getting into what we've been up to, Tony. What have you been playing?
I meant to play Nier Automata, and I just have not gotten a chance to.
Okay.
Been a bit busy, so it's pretty much Hearthstone and League of Legends.
Okay. All I did was I've played some Destiny. I've played about 5 hours, so I will tell you my impressions.
Okay. Yeah, let's go.
It is okay. The game is actually really great, what they've done with the narrative. They've done a very good job integrating the story. They seem to have learned their lesson and make it an involving cutscenes, a lot of cutscenes, really throwing a lot of story that at you that it makes sense most of the time. Doesn't make sense sometimes, but it makes sense most of the time. The voice acting is very good. There's fun characters in it that make it fun.
Was it supposed to be fun though?
You're supposed to feel like a badass, and it's weird because the game knocks you down in the beginning because you don't have any light, so it's like you can't be a badass. But the game has always been designed around you being a badass, taking on hordes and hordes and hordes of enemies. So that being said, while I do like the weather effects they put in this game, it does look better. Give them credit there, because I was slamming them for the game not looking better. It does look better. However, originality does not give them any points, because it is all of the exact same enemies they had in the first game. With zero, I haven't experienced anything new. Nothing new enemy-wise. Zero.
That's scary.
Zero.
That's scary.
I know, and I'm like, I'm not going to give them a free pass on that. That is, come on, this is a sequel, and all you did was you didn't even reanimate new enemies, because they're all exactly the same stuff I faced already before. And I know how to beat these people. We already know how to fight them, because I fought them in the first game. It's I don't know. I'm very bummed that there aren't new enemies. It is very confusing for those. I can't see. First of all, I can't see how it's not confusing. I understand kind of what I'm doing because I've played the first game. The way that they changed that first game into what it became, I was there and I understood it. This game is now what the first game became, and it's just like thrown to the wolves. They don't tell you what to do. There's a point where you can't. I couldn't advance last night because I wasn't level 11, so I had to grind. But they don't tell you what to do. I can't find any really missions, and I ended up doing world encounters until I got level 11, which didn't take that long, but like it seemed tedious. Like I feel like I want to advance the story. Why can't I play through the story? I hate grinding. You know, and I've only done it once here, so I'm not going to kill it for that. But it did take me 2 hours last night to get level 11, so now I can advance the story if I want to play it tonight. Weapons-wise, I guess it's new, but I don't feel like it's new. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see the differences in the weapons. Corey is in depth on this game, and I'm sure he will tell you the differences. But as a, you know, pretty general fan of the game, first game, I will tell you they feel very the same. Very much the same. And gear, it just seems like the entire time I'm getting gear in this game, all I'm doing is like basically upgrading, throwing it out, because you know that you're going to go, all you're building for is the end game stuff. You don't care what you're getting drops-wise right now. Like, I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just swapping out gear. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm not even reading the stats. I'm just putting on the highest level stuff I can get. And it just feels like that needs to be a little bit more steady. And I don't understand infusions. I don't know how to work infusions. Do you even know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Exactly, because I don't know what I'm talking about, and I play the game. So it's like infusing your armor to level it up, but there's nothing in the game about how to do that. There's no tutorial about how to do that for people. So it's like, if you've never played this game before, you have a epic armor piece that I just got, for instance, that it's like 105 armor, right? It's never gonna last. It's like I got a level 4, and I'm like, why would I keep this? It's only level 4. I'm gonna be level 20 at the end of this game. And Happle was like, oh, well, you can level it up. I'm like, oh, that's right, infusion. I'm like, how does that? I don't even know how that works. So I don't know how that works, and I played the first game. And if I didn't know that because I was talking to these guys, I would have like DE'd that armor. You know what I mean? It would have been stupid for me to keep that armor. So, not saying it's a terrible game. It's got a lot of users. It's just exactly what I was. It's pretty close to what I was fearing. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give them credit on the story, but it is more of, it's just Destiny.
It's
a big DLC pack. It's a big DLC pack.
Right, and the thing is, like, from what I've heard, you know, and again, I haven't played the game, so I'm not going to speak to what it is, but from general impressions I got from speaking to others, including yourself, it's like, hey, it's more of Destiny 1, so if that's what you want, a continuation of Destiny 1, it's great.
Nothing wrong with it, yeah.
It's not, doesn't revolutionize,
I don't see a reason for new people to jump on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my opinion. That's really, I can't tell you, Tony, you should try this game, it's fucking awesome. It's Destiny. That's it. Like, it's nothing that's going to bring new fans in. So.
Yeah.
And it's less, and there's less content. Like, you don't get your Sparrow, you don't get your vehicle in the beginning, like you used to in the first game. You don't get that vehicle. I'm going to have to walk to places right now still. And, and that was in the first game, you got that right away. And, there's less, I think it's a shorter campaign. It's less than 10 hours, the campaign. So I'm almost done with the campaign at 5-6 hours in. I'm almost done. So.
See, I like, the thing is, like, where does the story pick up exactly where Destiny 1 left off? Because, like, is the character you play in Destiny 2 supposed to be a continuation of your character?
It is your character, which is cool. That is, I'll give them credit. They move your character into it. It's exactly who I built. It's my character, just without my light and all my armor's gone. Because for some reason, when you lose your light, you lose your armor. I would have preferred to let you take your armor and then just make it shit-worthy. Like, you know, like WoW does? Like, you can wear your armor if you want. It's just not going to... I can put Nemesis equipment on as a Warlock. Doesn't mean I'm going to do well with it. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, yeah. I feel like that would have been a great feature to have for people that have worked their ass off for thousands of hours in this game to get armor that was customized for them. And then I haven't even gotten into the shader controversy, which is, if you pay to play this game, you're better than other people. Because there's advancement shaders that increase your weapons and armor that you can buy. I mean, you can get them in the game. You can earn them. But you can also just straight buy them, and it gives you an advantage in combat. Yeah. Go ahead, you can... I mean, Corey's not here. You can... I'm being, like, pretty objective about it. I'm being nice, and I'm also being, like... I'm
not surprised.
I would like to hear what Corey really thinks of it, honestly. I would. But I think he loves it.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but it's what you get these days. It's how they're gonna fund all the DLC stuff that you're gonna have to pay for anyway. So
yeah, it's true. So
and it's weird because I think we've gotten sales from the UK, and Destiny 2 is 50% lower than Destiny 1. Now, of course, you could say it's years into the generation now. A lot more people are buying digital. Obviously, yes, I agree with that statement. But like 50%, I don't think it's a 50%
I don't think it's 50%.
split. Like that's really high.
I agree.
Japan, it's down 50%. So
yeah, I agree.
I don't know what their expectations are, but I don't think they're hitting Destiny 1 numbers.
No, I don't think so.
Because, again, that was, 3 years ago when it came out?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was one of the first, because I remember that was the first console game I got when I bought my PlayStation 4, because it was, the new hotness. It was like, oh, cool, this is the revolutionary first-person shooter for, PlayStation/Xbox.
Yeah.
Depending on if you want to count Titanfall or not, but,
yeah. No, I know.
Yeah. Now it's just another one among dozens.
Yeah, I know. So, it's fun to play. I don't know how much time I'm going to invest in the game right away. Here's the thing. I feel like I have Mario Rabbids I want to get back into. I have Yakuza 0, and I have Nier. And I want to play those two games too. So, I'm going to probably finish this campaign and then put it on the shelf for a bit and not do the post-game stuff and instead work on these other games. Because it's not, I'm not as hooked as I was in the first game when I got into that.
And honestly, this is my whole thing, is because, some people at work are telling me again, I'm like, why would I get it now? Because I would be putting in the most amount of time, the most amount of effort for the least reward. Because I guarantee you, in 6 months, things are going to be nerfed, things are going to be changed, XP, quests, whatever, that if I tried to play it in 6 months, if I wanted to, I would be able to get up to speed like that.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
And play new content. There's just no reason. It's unfortunate, but that's one of those things. So unless you're and the thing is, at least with WoW, because that's the closest correlation I can make, because that's what I played for years.
Yeah, that's a good one to relate to.
But a big part of the WoW thing was you wanted to defeat those bosses or those raids or those dungeons before they got nerfed, because it was kind of like
you wanted
elitism in a way.
You
wanted the prestige, right?
To beat Nefarian, to defeat Nefarian.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you wanted that. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that's really all I've played this week. So nothing really to talk about with that. So I think are we good? I think that's gonna wrap it up.
I think that's gonna wrap it up.
That's gonna wrap up this Gamecast episode, folks. Thanks for tuning in and listening and viewing. Write us podcast at allycangeek.net. Follow us on Twitter at allycangeek. Like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tune in next week. Mike and Corey should be back, and we'll discuss what Corey thought of Destiny 2. Maybe get some further impressions by me and see what Mike's been up to. Thanks for
Injustice 2.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. We forgot all about the Zomdragon. Yeah, forgot all about the Batman stuff, but whatever. We'll talk about that next week, everybody. Sorry.
Yeah, Michael want to talk about that. So.
Zomdragon, Zombear. There you go.